Bye-bye, boy. Bye-bye. What? Hold on, Carol. Trying to see why offline. How? Oh. There we go. There we go. What? Unbelievable. Alrighty then. We got action. Action in the building. Get this show on the road. This show on the road. Man, this junk here tripping, man.
Plan and will incur a 1 cent per minute charge if you continue. You can hang up now to avoid the charge. Welcome. This service is you. There is one other participant to the conference. Please announce yourself.
Hello. What's happening with you, man? I'm trying to see what's up with this stream, man. This stream is tripping, man. Golly. Junk is really tripping. Like it's going off and on, man. Off and on. Oh, can't do that. So, I'm just going to have to start that later. Take all that stuff off there. Because we're not going to be able to do both. Not going to be able to do both. What's good with you, man? You all right? Now you hear me, Stanley? You all right, boy?
Say it again, what you said?
You say you all right?
Yeah, man. I'm taking it one day at a time, man. How about yourself, man?
I'm all right. I'm all right. We finna crank this thing up, man. All right, hold on. Hello? Hello? How you doing, Lee? Lee, that I snatched that video from last whenever that was 2 weeks ago off the camera. I just gotta upload it. I was trying to do it right now, but it was messing with the stream. Then I'm gonna get Brother Mike to try to download the other file off this Ustream so I can put the other half up. So it should be up by the end of the week.
Okay.
So we're gonna look at this here, right? I mentioned it on the Sabbath last week, and now hopefully Most High willing, we're gonna look at it a little bit more in depthly. And that's the thing that was mentioned about Adam. Hold on. And what we're going to look at is this. We're going to see how the master was born of a virgin twice. We're going to see how he was born of a virgin twice. And we're going to see that those who profess to be the sons of the living Alahym must be born of a virgin as well. You know what I'm saying? And to see how they're born of a virgin. This information is vital. Obviously, right now, a lot of people been arguing back and forth. Lately, that's the new thing to argue about. Is is teaching that this man was born of a virgin. Is it scriptural doctrine? Is it viable? Is it believable? Is it heathen stuff or whatever the case may be? I don't know. Who knows? Nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? One of the questions was, why didn't the apostles preach about a virgin birth? They didn't preach about a lot of things that's in this book, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? That's written down. Let's put it that way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the book even say it was things that the master did that weren't written down. It doesn't mean they weren't talked about. I don't know why an individual would think that just because they didn't speak on it, that wasn't something that was mentioned. Uh, we do have something that Troy asked about a couple weeks ago. Hold on. Hello? Shalom, man. You know what I'm saying? I just got a chance last night to really sit down and look at it. So we'll bring that up out of this Exodus 22 and Judges 15, if I'm not mistaken, or what it was he asked about. Swing that on around, you know. Then we're gonna look at 1 Samuel chapter 1. Y'all willing on the Shabbat, you know. We're gonna look at Hannah, and Most High willing, I think after Hannah, we'll look at Ruth. You know what I'm saying? Still got a couple more ladies to look at before we be completed with this particular foray. Might even look at something that is relevant to me right now at this particular time. Really, Kira? How many channels do you have? Good grief. You know what I'm saying? And that's dealing with we talked about it before. One time when we looked at Luke chapter 16, with the quote unquote prodigal son, as they like to call it, doesn't necessarily say that in the book. And that's looking at when somebody had done went astray and they humble themselves and they repent and they return. You know what I'm saying? Do or do they not be accepted? You know what I'm saying? One of the things that the word says is that Yahuwah does not despise a humble and contrite heart. See, one of the signs of maturation and growth is that if you made a mistake and in the midst of that mistake and that error or that rebellion or whatever the case may be, you can't see the error upon which you are making. You know what I'm saying? But then after time, you begin to see the error of your ways and you acknowledge them and then confess them and then repent from them. It's a strong chance Yahuwah will not despise that nor reject that. Because that's a sign of humility. Some people don't have that level of humility in them, and their pride will not allow them to acknowledge their error and turn from it. A good example of that is if you did something wrong and you come up with justification of excuses, even though you may call yourself acknowledging the wrong, so to speak. It's not the way to go about that. You know what I'm saying? It's just something to consider. Always something to consider. Every time you have to sit back and consider things, because our souls are literally on the line. These things are pertinent to our salvation, and it's things that it was like this here, right? The master told the scribes and the Pharisees that the harlots and the publicans would get in the kingdom of Shamahim before them. And the reason why he said that is because these people acknowledge their sins and confess them. They humble themselves and they seen their error and they move to no longer conduct themselves in that particular fashion. Uh, y'all knows when I actually get round up to that, but that's something that you have to sit back and look at. Because there are people who have went astray in this book and they return and y'all accept them. Children of Yasharal, number one prime example. But you gotta be willing to do that. The reason why I say you had to be willing to do that, because if it was you, you would want others to do it for you. Hello?
Insecure.
All right. You definitely. How many YouTube channels do you have?
Depending on how many emails I gotta write.
Why?
I mean, I only use two.
And the reason I say that because we want Yahuwah to do this for us. But yet we can't turn around and That's why he said back and he say certain things. You're supposed to be the manifestation of the living Alahym on the earth. But do we manifest those attributes? See, there's another thing, Kaja was talking about this with a couple people. That Most High willing, y'all got to forgive me because I'm definitely tired. When you look at the Master walked around and was surrounded by all manner of people, and they couldn't stand him. You know what I'm saying? And that for all intents and purposes, he didn't have very many friends. There wasn't very many people who actually loved him. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much the same token for all the prophets in this book. That's just the reality of serving the living Alahym. Another thing is this here. We discussed this yesterday too. You have men that walk with this man the whole time and still perish. Not just Judas. See, y'all got to remember now, it wasn't just the 12 walking with him. They just was the closest to him. But they wasn't the only ones walking with him. And there were people who were walking with him that walked with him the whole time and heard almost every single solitary sermon he dropped and still perished. And still didn't believe. So sitting there hearing the word does not denote salvation. It doesn't denote that you are a believer. It doesn't denote that you're walking in it. No, it does not. Nevertheless, it is 7:45 and it's time to get this show on the road. Pardon me for one moment. One moment, please. One moment, please. All right, everyone, let us pray. It's time to get this party started, man. It's time to get this party started. Get this party started. Put all this up so I can hit the good old record button. We can take off. And then let's get it. Righteous Father Yahuwah, we thank you for thy mercies and thy righteousness and thy truth. We ask you to guide us and lead us according to the strength and power of thy word. Let thy word resonate in our hearts. Let our hearts be circumcised. Let our hearts be humble. Direct us and guide us according to thy Ruach HaKodesh, that we might be filled to everlasting life. According to the faith which is in thy Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, that we might be sanctified unto life, and that our sins might be forgiven. Remember the whole house of Yasharal to the Yahudim, first also to the heathen, every one that walked before you in Ruach and in truth. Let them be strengthened according to thy mercies. Remember all the synagogues and assemblies of Yahuwah in the four corners of the earth, and Baruch them individually and collectively. They gather together perfect in one in beauty, Kadosh. Baruch the hosts and Shamahim and the Kadosh apostles and prophets that paved the way of the faith, and send laborers into thy harvest. For the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. That the word which you covenanted with our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, might be fulfilled. That uncircumcised hearts might be humble. That we might serve you. That we might love you. That we might trust in you. That we might hope in you. That we might be strengthened by you. That you might be our Alahim and we might be thy people. From Jerusalem, the city of salvation, the city of righteousness, the city of the great King. Guide us and lead us back into that place, that we might stand in her to sing hallelujah of hopes, for Yahuwah's goodness, mercy endures forever. And assemble the firstborn individually and collectively. Let the love of Hamashiach dwell in our heart by faith. Guide us according to truth and righteousness, and mercies and righteousness and truth. Let us be converted to become the sons of the living Alahym, that we might stand before thee, that we might receive palms and white robes, to be washed in the Lamb's blood. As we proceed further, we ask thee for a word from on high, word of truth and righteousness to come to us, that we may know him that is true, that we are in him that is true. Even our son Yahushua HaMashiach, who is the true Alahym and eternal life. Father, we give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yahuwah by Hashem Yahushua this day. So be it. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Mwah. Give me a kiss. Give me a hug, Lizzie. Give me a hug, Lizzie. Oh, Lizzie. You don't feel good, Lizzie? You don't feel good, Lizzie? Huh? You okay? Who's that? Oh, my babies don't feel good. Go lay down, Lizzie. You got a cold. Go lay down with your mommy. Hello? 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 What's going on? John 5:39, everybody. John 5:39, everybody. Now it's time to put in this work. Put some work on the street. Street on some work. John 5:39. And it says, search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you would not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you that you have not the love of Alahym in you. Now, I'm just going to read this other place because, you know, why not? I just feel like doing it. I mean, there's no rhyme, there's no reason for it. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 5. And after Hebrews chapter 10, verse 5, 1 Corinthians chapter 15. This man told you to search the scriptures, because in them you think you have eternal life, and they bearing witness of me. And as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, I find it hilarious. I find it hilarious. All these men that claim to possess this man's spirit, but yet no testifying of the Son of the living Alahym is being manifest. And that when certain things are manifested according to his testimony, I hear some of the most asinine statements that you would ever want to hear. And a couple of them I will share with you this evening. Hebrews 10 and 5 says, wherefore when he come into the world, he saith, sacrifice and offering thou would not, but a body hast thou prepared me. And burnt offerings and sacrifices for sin thou hast no pleasure. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O Alahym. It is written of an individual to do this man's will. But let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 15. 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And when we look at 1 Corinthians chapter 15, we're going to look at about verse 45. We'll start at verse 44. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 44. It says, it is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body, there is a spiritual body. And so it is written. The first man, Adam, was made a living nephesh, a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening ruach, a quickening spirit. That's what's going down with the first and the second Adam. That's what we got. So we need to look at these first and second Adams, and we need to understand something. First thing we need to understand is this. Let's look at Luke chapter 3. Luke chapter 3. We talked about this a little roughly on the last Shabbat. Just threw it in a little bit. So you got to understand something, right? Everything that you've seen in the creation was created with no procreation. Strictly off the behest and power of the living Alahym is how these things were manifested. Well, let's look at Luke chapter 3, right? And let's look at verse 23. Let's look at the key thing of what in the account of Luke is being said. And Yahushua himself began to be about 30 years of age, being as was supposed the son of Joseph, which was the son of Heli. So it said it was supposed that Joseph was his daddy. So that means everybody thought that Joseph was his daddy. But the book is letting you know that Joseph was not his daddy. For those of you that are not aware, why does it say he began to be 30 years of age? For your own scriptural research, you can go look in Genesis chapter 41, and you will see that Joseph began to reign at 30 years of age. You can go look in 2 Samuel, if I'm not mistaken, I think chapter 10, and you will see that David began to rule at 30 years of age. And you can look at Number chapter 4, and it'll tell you that a Levite begins to put in that work at 30 years of age. So this is why this is mentioned. Now, let's see, right? Which was the son of Mattat, which was the son of Levi, which was the son of Malachi, which was the son of Jonah, which was the son of Joseph, and so on and so forth. We're not going to read all of these people, but we will drop down about verse 30, though. No, we'll drop, verse 32. We'll work our way to verse 32. Well, actually 31. Which was the son of Maliah, which was the son of Menan, which was the son of Mattah, which was the son of Nathan, which was the son of David, which was the son of Jesse, which was the son of Obed, which was the son of Boaz, which was the son of Salmon, which was the son of Naasson, which was the son of Aminadab, which was the son of Aram, which was the son of Esrom, which was the son of Pheri, which was the son of Yehuda, which was the son of Yaakov, which was the son of Yitzhak, which was the son of Abraham, which was the son of Thara, which was the son of Nachor, which was the son of Sirach, which was the son of Ragu, which was the son of Philip, which was the son of Eber, which was the son of Shem, or Salah, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Arpad, which was the son of Shem, which was the son of Noah, which was the son of Lamech, which was the son of Methuselah, which was the son of Enoch, which was the son of Jared, which was the son of Malil, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of Alahym. So it states that Adam was a son of Alahym. So that means we need to begin to sit back and look at how he is a son of Alahym. Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 2. Verse 5. Before we read Genesis chapter 2, verse 5. Every plant of the field before it was in their rats, and every herb of the field before it grew. For Yahuwah Elohim had not caused it to rain upon their rats, and there was no man to till the ground. There went up a mist from their rats, and watered the whole face of the ground. Yahuwah Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostril the breath of life, and man became a living nephash. So, one of the first things we're going to sit back and we're going to look at is this. The word for ground. The word for ground is Adamah. It is a feminine word. Literally means piece of ground, earth, substance, things of that nature. Adam was formed of the dust of the ground, pulled from the ground, and the ground is referenced as a woman. And no man had tilled this ground or touched this ground. Now we're just going to read Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14, because this is the verse that causes all the controversy. So we got to understand something, that Adam is literally taken from virgin soil, soil that had not been touched by anyone, no man had tilled it. And Adam was created with no sperm. He was created with a different seed. And after we read Isaiah 7 and 14, we'll look at Luke 8 and 11. Isaiah 7 and 14 says, Therefore Yahuwah himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Well, we'll just look at, because that's what everybody loves to do, is see virgin. Doesn't mean that she's never had sex. But see, we have to prove that virgin means she's never had sex. Says right here, right? It says it's Alma, a virgin, a young woman of marriageable age. Well, if a woman is of marriageable age or a damsel or a maid, that means she 9 times out of 10, she hasn't been touched. But it said a virgin has to conceive seed and bear a son, and his name shall be called Emmanuel, or Alahym is with us. So that means not only do we have to sit back and show that the master happened this here on his natural birth, we have to do this later, and then we have to see, does it pertain to us? Now, obviously, we see that Adam, the son of Alahym, was conceived of a virgin, and Alahym was with you. Let's see how Alahym was with you. Let's see if Adam was the first Emmanuel. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 2. Let's just see if he the first Emmanuel. Let's just see if he is the first Emmanuel. You look at Genesis chapter 2. About verse 19. Yeah, I was going to take that out though. That's definitely not going to fit in the garbage can. Out of the ground, Yahuwah formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. So as you can see, the beasts of the field were created without seed as well. Adam gave names to all the cattle and all the fowl of the air and every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was no helpmeet found for him. Let's move to Genesis chapter 1. My apologies. Genesis 1 and 26. Because if he's the son of Alahym, then we know that Adam is made equal to Alahym, which would mean Alahym is with us. And all we got to do is sit back when we see that is when we look at when Eve said, Alahym have said, we shall not eat of the trees of the garden. We already know Yahuwah did not give Eve that instruction. He gave that instruction to Adam. Alahym said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air, over the cattle, over all their rats, over every creeping thing that creep upon the earth. So Alahym created man in his own image, in the image of Alahym created he him. Male and female created he them. Alahym blessed them, and Alahym said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that move upon the earth. And Alahym said, behold, I have given you the herb-bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree which is in the fruit of the tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. Remember, he also said about this tree that it's the seed that is in itself. And most I will, and we'll deal with that in a moment. So, we see that Adam has dominion over everything. Only Alahym is the only one that can have dominion over everything. The animals, the fish, the air, the sea, the woman, everything. And we see that Adam was conceived by a virgin, and she bare the seed, and that seed being Adam, and Alahym was with you. So that means we have to turn around and see if Hamashiach would fit and follow that very same pattern. Because if we sit back and we see that the woman or the girth is considered to be a woman. And we'll get to dealing with who each one of their mothers are in each instance and who our mother would be and all of these things. But I ain't trying to be too long. I also want to deal with certain things that you would need to be confirmed to become a son of Alahym. Remember, we started out looking at John 5:39 and Hebrews 10:5. He come in the volume of the book. It's written of him. He told you to search the book out. The whole book's testifying of him. Just bear with me, I'm moving in a little slow motion. So, with that being said, let's go look at Luke chapter 8, verse 11. Luke 8 and 11 says this. I'll make it 10. And he said, unto you is it given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of Alahym, but to others in parables, that seeing they might not see, and hearing they might not understand. So you have to sit back and you have to realize that. I was talking about this yesterday, man. This stuff is not readily available for everybody. And some people see it, but don't see it. And some people hear it and don't hear it. I'm just thinking about something that somebody said to me, man, I ain't heard them say in a very long time. That always, it resonated then. It probably resonated even harder hearing him say it again. I'm not finna divulge it. It's just clicking through my mind. Look at verse 11, though. Now, the parable is this. The seed is the word of Alahym. So we see that he breathed into him and he became a living Nephash. Or it was the Ruach of the Almighty that gave him life. Look at Job 33 and 4 for that. Let's just look at Job 33 and 4 and then John chapter 12, verse 23. Before we read John 12 and 23, after Job 33 and 4, John chapter 6, verse 63. See, that's what individuals are forgetting is they focus on what people tend to focus on is just the aspect of seed or sperm. That sperm is the only key thing that can give life. And they miss that Adam was given life with no sperm because he was given life by the Ruach. This is why he's able to be called a son of Alahym. See, if you're born of sperm, you cannot be a son of Alahym. That's what dudes be missing, right? You can't be a son of Alahym if you are born of sperm. You must be born of the word, of the Ruach, to become a son of Alahym. If you are born of sperm, you will die. Bottom line. See, there was a and the reason why I mention this here, right? Because we know Adam was made of dust. He wasn't intended to live forever. But there was something there could allow Adam to live forever. But he forsook it. And we'll look at that as well in a moment. Job 33 and 4. See, and the token is, right, if you're going to be a son of Alahym, you have to be born of the word. Which means that you have to die. And I spoke with somebody, and I told them something. And maybe if I catch y'all in person, I'll go into greater detail. Everybody got stuff they struggle with, right? But everybody don't struggle with the same. See, the things I deal with ain't no things that like I ain't worrying about having sex with no woman. That's not an issue for me. You know what I'm saying? Smoking or drinking or cussing and all that stuff ain't no issue for me. The reason why it's not no issue because I've mortified my members. That is dead. You know what I'm saying? The things that are issues for me are different than maybe somebody else. The things have nothing to do with actual behavior of satisfying or gratifying the feelings of the flesh just to feel something that could make me feel good. It's things that are a little higher, little things are a little different. Because I can identify temptation when it comes. You know what I'm saying? And because I've mortified my members and have been in the word for a certain period of time where the word has given me strength, it is a little easier for me to resist. You know what I'm saying? It's like I said, the master had to resist because he was in the flesh. It was a little easier for him to resist than say someone who didn't have the word inside of them because that's what he had in him and that was keeping him back or constraining his behavior. You look at certain things why your behavior may not be constrained because the word is not actually in you. You know what I'm saying? It's in your mouth, but it's not in your heart. It's not inside of you. You know what I'm saying? This is why people don't have no problem doing slime ball things. You know what I'm saying? Whatever those slime ball things may be. You know what I'm saying? Because when I say slime ball, I ain't talking about just doing slime ball stuff to another individual. You could be doing slime ball stuff by molesting yourself. When I say molesting yourself, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You these slime balls, yeah, because, hey, a nigga just came out and say, hey, he molested himself. You know what I'm saying?
That's very slimy.
Yeah, who you telling? Probably had a lot of lotion going on around there. Don't nobody want to shake your hand or like this. Don't touch that bed. It's sticky. You might get stuck to it now. Don't touch that bed now. That stuff there ugly. You know what I'm talking about? All seriousness though. You know what I'm saying? Because the flesh lusts after the Ruach. But like I say, right, your flesh can lust after the Ruach where it don't necessarily pertain to lasciviousness, uncleanliness, maliciousness, spite, and boasting, and all these things that are a manifestation, you know, the evil eye and blasphemy, and all of these things. You know what I'm saying? This thing's a little different. You know, everybody's different. And like I say, then it comes to the maturation process of the word. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people want to move and do a lot of different things when it comes to the word. You haven't even matured in the word to try to move on to the next spot that you're trying to get to. You still ain't mastered where you at. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's all type of stuff, but I'm going to leave that alone for now. Job 33 and 4. The Ruach of Alahym have made me, and the breath of the Almighty have given me life. This is what Job is stating to you, and that's what we see with Adam. It's what we see with Adam. It's what we see with Adam. Ain't no sperm made this man. It's Ruach made this man. And the reason why this is important, why we read the genealogy, because David is in the genealogy of Adam, and Adam was not made from sperm. So it shouldn't be far-fetched that if the man at the top of the genealogy and the man at the bottom of the genealogy are not made from sperm. Wouldn't that make sense? If the man, because David's included in this. You know what I'm saying? So that means a man who was not made from sperm created a genealogy that had a man in it who was existing from sperm. See what I'm saying? So when we sit back and look at how could Adam be in that genealogy, because his mother was the dust of the ground. You know what I'm saying? This is where his flesh came from. See, that's what y'all understand. The body came from this woman's flesh, or the dust of the ground. The man came from Yahuwah when we look at Adam. So why would you not be able to see that with Hamashiach? Remember what Psalms 51 say? Let me get Psalm 51. I hope it makes sense for you. I hope I ain't going too fast. I'm trying to get it all in. I got a lot. I want to go take a nap. I ain't going to be able to take it. 51 and 5. Psalm 51 and 5. Hallelujah for Yahushua. Psalms 51 and 5. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and sin did my mother conceive me. Well, sit back and look at it, right? He's saying, sin did my mother conceive me. Well, let's look at Romans chapter 7, still holding John chapter 12. He's saying, sin did my mother conceive me. Well, just we see Adam was conceived from the dust of the ground. He was shapen in iniquity, and sin his mother conceived. Let's see how. Romans chapter 7. No, don't pee. 7 and 14. Peas. These are peas. It's not the place for that. It's kind of rude there. Romans 7 and 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do I allow not, for what I would that do I not, but what I hate that do I. See, look at what Paul just sat back and stated to you. He was carnal and sold under sin. Let's look at the next thing that he says. Now then it is no more I that do it, but the sin that dwell in me. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwell no good thing, for to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good, I find not. Knowing that he's created from the dust of the ground, and he's shaping in sin, did my mother conceive me. Paul just sat back and say, I'm carnal, I'm sold under sin. I've been given over to this flesh. That's what I'm in. You know, the book tells you that the flesh is not subject to the law of Alahym, neither indeed can be. And this is what Adam was shaping in. He was shaping in flesh, and the flesh is a world of iniquity. He said, you know, the Ruach is willing, but the flesh is weak. This is what he was shaping in. This is what he was shaping in. This all this is referring to is your flesh. But let's look at something. John chapter 12, verse 23. Woo. Dang, I got to go to Julius and Creek. John chapter 12, verse 22. Philip come and tell, I know I said 23, I'm just going to read 22. Philip come and tell Andrew again, and Andrew and Philip tell Yahushua. Yahushua answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be esteemed. Truly, truly, I say unto you, except the corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abide alone. But if it die, it bring forth much fruit. Now you sit back and look at it, right? Adam is brought from the ground, and you don't even sit back and realize is that and we done dealt with this a long time ago, that this is also talking about Adam and Eve, but I'm not going to get into that in great detail right now. Adam was in the dust of the ground, right? And he abided alone. Then coming out of that, he bare forth much fruit, because we just read that in that genealogy. You know what I'm saying? Of all those offspring. Because he abided alone. And then the breath of the Almighty gave him life, and he arose. You know what I'm saying? To become a son of Alahym, which is the first aspect of you seeing becoming a son of Alahym, is the natural sense. As forth as we talking about how Yahushua became a son of Alahym. Let's look at Luke chapter 3. So we can see the same thing. So you can see Adamah. So what we look at is Miriam or Mary is Adamah. She is the ground. You know what I'm talking about? Who no man had ever tilled or ever touched. And then at the Ruach, you got some people talking about, so y'all had sex with Mary. Like, are you so dumb to think the breathing of the Ruach is comparable to sexual intercourse? I know that's right. We got to get John 6 and 63. I'm sorry. Because we said the seed is the word of Alahym. We got to read John 6 and 63. So knowing that the Ruach is what impregnated Mary, it was the word. Because all Yahuwah has to do is say it and it's done. You know what I'm saying? He spoke creation into existence by saying, let there be light. Sun, move here. Moon, go there. Stars. You know what I'm saying? That's all he has to do. So in order to create Adam, he breathed in it. He spoke life into existence. He spoke life into this man. You know what I'm saying? Period. And then he turned around and he did the same thing with Yahushua, with Mary, because he has to be the second Adam. He has to do the same thing that Adam did. Let me read John 6 and 63, and then Isaiah 9 and 6, and then Luke chapter 3. It is the Ruach that quickened, the flesh profit nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are Ruach and they are life. But there are some of you that believe not, for Yahushua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not and who should betray him. And he said, therefore said I unto you that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Abba. Nobody can come to Hamashiach unless the Father draw him. We know this, Psalm 65 and 4. Baruch is the man whom thou choose, who you cause to approach unto him. So you got dudes who thinking they signed, sealed, and delivered, and they locked in, and you don't actually believe because you're not actually coming to this man. And I ain't talking about just coming to this man because his name is in your mouth, or you wear his name on a t-shirt, or you write in paleo, or you write in biblical, all the stuff that most of our people do. You know what I'm saying? This ain't singling nobody out. This talking about our people as a whole and as general. You know what I'm talking about? That stuff don't be nothing if you're not coming to him with the whole heart, the whole mind, and the whole soul to be enveloped by his presence. You know what I'm saying? The way his word becomes second nature to you, where you become one with it and he becomes one with you. To actually become a son of Alahym. This is the hindrance of most people. It's just a party favor. You know what I'm saying? Stuff bigger than wearing a t-shirt. It's bigger than writing his name on stuff. It's bigger than wearing a chain. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than mentioning it in the song. It's bigger than posting it on Facebook. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than making a video. Because it has to become your lifestyle. You know, when we sold drugs, that was our lifestyle. That's how we lived. And pretty much everyone around us, that's how they lived. So now you come to serve the living Alahym, and this is supposed to be your lifestyle. This is the way you're supposed to live. This is what you're supposed to be about. Everything that he is about. So we have to become that. Because he just said the words that he speak, they ruach and they life. They will quicken you. They will make you alive. He tell you that in Telahim Psalms 119. Quicken me according to thy word. Make me alive according to thy word. So again, it's the ruach which gives you life. That sperm means absolutely nothing because you will perish. We don't see it in that fashion. Isaiah 9 and 6 to prove this point that's in my brain. Some people be like, he cherry picking scriptures and he doing this here. I frankly don't care. What difference does it make to me? Let the word of Alahym be true and every man be a liar. You ain't got to believe it. You got to answer to him, though. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no ruach on you. You certified firewood. You know what I'm saying? Certified. Charcoal, man. Charcoal. For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given. And the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty Alahym, the Everlasting Abba, the Prince of Shalom. And of the increase of his government and shalom there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it, to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth and forever. The zeal of Yahuwah of hosts will perform this. So it's the jealousy. of Yahuwah of hosts that will perform this. Because Yahuwah told you in another place that he was jealous for his name's sake and that he would make his name great again. So he had to be able to do this because Yasharal had truly caused this man's name to be downtrodden amongst the earth, amongst the nations, causing these people to blaspheme. Ooh, somebody need to mute their phone. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about this. He said he'll be called the Mighty Alahym. If he's going to be called the Mighty Alahym, that's lining up with Adam. Say his son's being born. Y'all don't even sit back and realize that Adam was all that because he was wonderful, because he was fearfully and wonderfully made, like Psalms 139 tell you. The government was on his shoulder because all authority was given unto Adam. He definitely was a counselor because he gave the recommended course of action to Eve not to eat from that tree. He was a Mighty Alahym. The only thing he wasn't the everlasting father, nor was he the ruler of the destruction of him that causes chaos. That's where it stopped with Adam. But he definitely fit the others. So we see the parallels of being a son of Alahym. And we see that Hamashiach got to follow the same framework. Luke chapter 3. I'm getting short on time. I still ain't got my second point. I got 2 more points to get. I don't want to speed them though. But I just might. Cause I gotta take a nap. Y'all knows I do. Well, I stayed up I was up about 32 hours straight the other day. Slept 4 and been up since. No, I took another one. Yeah, slept from about 6 to 10. Came back and slept from about 4 to 8, 8:30. Not 4 to 9. I might just stay straight up again because going to sleep tonight ain't gonna serve me not now like a typical person. Luke chapter 3, right? I'm sorry. Is it Luke chapter 3? It's Luke chapter 1. My apologies, y'all. Luke chapter 1, verse 30, make it 26. And in the 6th month, the Malachim Gabriel was sent from Alahym unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Yosef of the house of Daud, and the virgin's name was Miriam. Now, we already know this here. I'm going to keep it brief. I'm not going to go through that. You know the book say this man was a just man in Matthew chapter 1. And say he was going to put this woman away not to make her a public example. I see niggas say all type of stupid, retarded stuff ain't got no book for it. If he a just man, that mean he was blameless according to the law. So that means if he was going to put her away, you need to line it up with the law. We know Deuteronomy 22 say if you find a woman and she ain't no virgin, you got to put that woman away by stoning her with rocks. Because that's what was going to make her a public example. She would have had to been killed. He said to stone them to put away evil from amongst Yasharal. That's a public example. Getting divorced ain't no public example. That public example when them stones go oops upside your head and everybody else go to considering I might not want to go out like that. Because that's surely evil for me to play the whore in my father's house. Yeah, that's what them stones were going to do. Go oop upside her head. He was sitting there pondering on it too. He said Joseph was pondering about that. Man, look here, boy. She playing the whore. She playing the whore. I'm finna get her from around here. She's playing the whore. So it can't be no whores in here. Not in this house. That's what the law say. So that means you got to line this stuff up with the law. That's why he was going to put this woman away. An espousal is a promise to be married. You know, not coaching. It ain't no humping around. He wouldn't have did none of that. And the Malachim came unto her and said, Hail, thou art highly favored. Yahuwah is with thee. Baruch art thou among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast into her mind what manner of salutation this should be. And the Malachim said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with Alahym. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahusha. He shall be great. He shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Yahuwah Alahym shall give unto him the throne of his father Daud. And he shall reign over the house of Yaakov forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Then said Mary unto the Malachim, How shall this be, seeing I know not a man? This is the same thing you've seen in the law. That ground was not tilled. How was this ground going to be able to bring forth seed? How was this ground going to be able to bring forth fruit when the law says in the book of Psalms clearly that the fruit of the womb is the blessing of Yahuwah? And that the ground is considered of the same thing. Because this Adamah is considered to be a woman. So you seeing a virgin conceiving seed by Alahym breathing the Ruach into it. It's the same thing. This book for that. First and second Adam. Adam can't be born from virgin soil and be born, and Yahuwah be his father, and Hamashiach don't follow the same frame, or John 5:39 and Psalm 40 and 7 ain't true. Bottom line. Because Yahuwah said so. Not because I said so. Not because the rock said so. You can say because the rock said so. Because Hamashiach's that rock. You can say that right there. Not Dwayne Johnson, but the real rock. So listen to the next thing he said. And the Malachim answered and said unto her, the Ruach HaKodesh shall come upon thee. So he's telling this woman what's going to impregnate her. The same thing that impregnated Adamah. The same thing that impregnated Adamah. And isn't it wild that the ground was called Adamah and Adam's name is Adam? Because he called their name Adam. He said male and female created he them and called their name Adam. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. The Malachim answered and said unto her, the Ruach HaKodesh shall come upon thee, and the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore also that Kadesh thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of Alahym. The Ruach HaKodesh separates. That means this is something different. That means this is something that is incorruptible. But something that was incorruptible joined with something that is corruptible, which is what made you Adam and which has made you Hamashiach. I can say the thing that's in you must be called the Son of the Highest, just like Adam was called the Son of the Highest. No sperm needed. Because you can't be the Son of the Highest by sperm. That's all. That's just brain. That's all you got to do is think. You can't become a Son of the Highest by sperm. That's impossible. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 23. You cannot become a son of Alahym by sperm. You're going to have to be born by a better seed, man. You're going to have to be born by a better seed. Sperm ain't going to do it. They want Hamashiach to be the son of David and be born of David's sperm and be born of Joseph's sperm. Therefore, you saying that Yahushua is not the son of Alahym, and therefore you saying that Adam is not the son of Alahym. Therefore, you have called Yahuwah a liar. And therefore, you ought to perish and perish quickly unless you repent of the evil intentions of your heart. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 22. Seeing you have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Ruach of the unfeigned love of the brethren. See that you love one another with a pure heart fervently. See, that's one of the biggest hindrances of our people, is they don't love people with a pure heart fervently. This is the thing I don't understand. Everybody scream they love Alahym, but do not love their brother whom they can see, like the Apostle Yochanan told you. Because you ain't never seen Yahuwah, and you ain't never seen Yahusha, but yet you scream that you love them. But yet your brother and your sister, whom you see every day, you do not love. You speak evil things against them when the book say not to do that. You have evil intentions and inventions in your heart against people whom you say are your brothers and sisters. Why is this so? You know what I'm saying? We have no compassion, no mercy, no humility, no love, no faith, no nothing. And wonder why we have no power. You know what I'm saying? And we wonder why. Why would anyone who want to come in the word won't even come deal with the word when we don't love each other properly? You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to deal with that aspect. I'm going to tell you right, Hamashiach walked around and everybody hated him. See, some of y'all don't know what that's like. That you know how hard that's got to be, that you there for people's sake and they don't love you and they hate you and they despise you and have all manner of evil murmurings to say against you. That's what they did to Moses. Moses was not there for himself. Yahushua was not there for himself. Anyone who Yahuwah sends to preach the word in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, those men are not there for themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's why Paul made reference to the apostle. He said, we the refuse of the earth. That's what he said. Offscouring. Despised. You know what I'm saying? This man said the time will come where they shall kill you and think they do Alahym service. Your own people whom you come to serve. See, a lot of people like to paint the picture that somebody hates. I know nobody hates you. That's all in your mind. Some people need to create haters and things of that nature for their own insecurities and lack of accomplishments in their life. You know what I'm saying? So they have to create some type of boogeyman and enemy to make themselves feel good, and whomever they're trying to convince that they're this, that, there, and the third. But I'm going to tell you something. Moses was alone, meaning there wasn't that many people with him. Hamashiach was alone. Elijah was alone. And most righteous men are alone, because these are real people. They're authentic people. They're authentic people of Yahuwah. And not many people want to deal with them, nor be around them, nor actually love them. And I don't think most of y'all really understand what type of life that is to lead. Because I don't think most of y'all are mentally prepared to actually have to live that kind of life. Because remember, right? He said that these men were living in caves, destitute and afflicted, walking around wandering. And he said the world was not worthy of these men. The world was not worthy of these men. See, we have to move from getting caught up on wanting to be seen and wanting to be praised by men to sit back and walk that lonely road of Yahuwah Alahim, especially if you say you want to be a servant of his. If you want to be a servant of his, you will not be loved or liked. You need to put that in the envelope and drop it in the mailbox, because that is not going to happen. Mail that off. You're not going to be liked. You're not going to be loved. People are not going to like you. And it ain't going to have nothing to do about what you preaching, your lifestyle, what you stand for, how you move. People not going to like you, much less love you. I don't even know why we even think that that's even a tangible reality when the world don't love Hamashiach, when the world don't love Abba. What make them think they going to love you? Got to be getting high. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 23. Being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of incorruptible by the word of Alahym, which live and abide forever. See, that's what you're going to sit back and you see that the difference. See, Adam was made of incorruptible seed, but Yahuwah mixed him. That's why he said he was conceived in sin and fashioned in iniquity. And he said, I was carnal, sold under sin. Because though he was created by incorruptible seed, he placed him in a corruptible shell by forming Adam from Adamah. And the same thing with Hamashiach, by forming Hamashiach from Adamah or from Mary. Incorruptible seed, because he's of Alahym, but yet fashioned in a corruptible vessel. And that's what ends up happening as you get passed down. Now you're of corruptible seed in a corruptible vessel. And therefore there has to be a transformation. Because you cannot become a son of Alahym being born of sperm. It's not going to happen. See, Adam and Yahushua were sons of Alahym. He just fashioned them in clay. Because they were born from incorruptible seed. He did fashion them in clay. See, we were not born of incorruptible seed naturally, as forth as our initial creation. So you have to do it on your second creation or your second birth. So you could be like Adam. And so you could be like Yahushua and be a son of Alahym. Since you got to take hold of the power. A lot of people don't take hold of the power because we like to argue about stuff. You know what I'm saying? We like to debate, and you know what I'm saying? And all that type of stuff. We stubborn, we stiff-necked, we proud, we rebellious, we disobedient. You got hate in your heart for your brother. You got a problem with your brother, you don't go holler at him. That's the thing I don't understand. I don't understand none of this stuff, how we operate. We disrespect our wives, we disrespect our husbands. You know what I'm saying? You got two married people. Wife got a problem, she don't tell her husband. How he gonna rectify the problem? You don't tell him. You say that's your brother, you got an issue. I'm gonna tell you like this here, right? There is not a problem doesn't exist if one person has a problem, he don't speak on it. Then you have a problem. We don't have a problem. You know what I'm saying? See, the only way two people can have a problem is if the problem is presented. See, if the problem is not presented, then we don't have a problem. You got a problem. You know what I'm saying? You might need to go talk to somebody. You might need to go seek professional help. You might need to go pray. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just being real. Ain't no way in the world. If I'm sitting here, I'm married, I got a problem with my wife, I don't tell my wife that, then me and my wife don't have a problem. I just have a problem. If I got a problem with my nigga and I don't tell it, then me and my nigga don't have a problem. I got a problem. Because I'm either too cowardly to tell him about my problem or it's in my head and I'm trying to create some false enemy in my mind and I might need psychological evaluation. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way around that. Ain't no way around that. You know what was crazy? All them people had a problem with a Mashiach, but never went and hollered at a Mashiach. How you going? They telling everybody, how you got a problem with somebody, you tell another nigga you got a problem with him. Go and tell that man then. They had a problem with a Mashiach, they ain't come holler at him though. They telling everybody else, he evil now. He ain't got no word, that man's a devil. That man say, shoot, I don't know nothing about what you talking about. They ain't told me nothing. Where we at? Luke chapter 3. What do I need to hit, man? Isaiah 26 and 19. Yeah, we get into it, man. Surely is. I appreciate it, though. Matter of fact, your timing is impeccable, because that's where I'm headed. Isaiah 26 and 19, Psalms 119 and 45, if I'm not mistaken. Who is that? Okay, then. He just likes to make all type of noises, huh? That's his thing. Tubby! Little Tubby. Hey, little Tubby. Hey, little Tubby. Hey, little Tubby. 26 and 19. Thy dead men shall live together, with my dead body shall they arise. Awake and sing, ye that dwell in the dust, for thy dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead. Let's finish John chapter 2. Oh, we did finish John chapter 12. The seed, the except the corn fall on the ground and die, by it alone. But if it died, bring forth much fruit. So what's going to cause this to bring forth fruit? The same thing what we see on the second. See, the first Adam was a living soul. But the second Adam was a quickening ruach, meaning made alive to live eternally. See, Adam had a temptation, and y'all willing, I'll be able to work that temptation in on Shabbat, because I ain't finna keep going too much longer. Because there's certain things that I want to show what actually confirms the son of Alahym. And that's chastisement, and that's temptation. You know what I'm saying? See, Adam was chastised and tempted. You know what I'm talking about? I can't even say we can say he was tempted because his wife was tempted. You can say he was tempted in, he didn't have to take that fruit, but he took it anyway. You know what I'm saying? He was chastised by the judgments that were laid upon him. And then you turn around and you can see that with a Mashiach. He's tempted, he's chastised. And if you're going to be conformed to the son of Alahym, you have to be chastised and you have to be tempted. You know what I'm saying? This is the process that causes you to be able to become a quickening ruach, or be quickened by the ruach, I should say. You know what I'm saying? See, faith was shut up to Adam at that time. So it wasn't there. Psalms 119 and 45. Is that lazy now? Say, I don't feel well, Pop. I don't feel well. Say, I don't feel well. Feel well. Say, I'm hot. 45 ain't what I wanted. My apologies. Let me see where we at with that. Say, I'm hot, Pops. I'm hot. Got a fever. Look at Psalms 119. There we go. Psalms 119 and 40. But we'll look at 38. Matter of fact, 37. Psalms 119 and 37. Matter of fact, make it 36. Screw it, just make it 33. So, Psalms 119 and 33. Psalms 119 and 33. It would help if I was on that page. Teach me, O Yahuwah, the way of thy statutes. I shall keep it unto the end. This is why the master told you, he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. You keep this man's word until the end, you got to stand on it. You don't know when your end is going to be. Your end is not necessarily dictated at his coming. Remember what Paul told you, I fought the fight of faith. Therefore, a crown is laid up for me. You got to hold on to it to the end. Give me understanding, and I shall keep thy Torah. Yea, I shall observe it with my whole heart. Make me to go in the path of thy commandments, for therein do I delight. Incline my heart unto thy testimonies, and not to covetousness. See, a man's life does not consist of the abundance of things that he possesses. Covetous makes you an idolater, and covetousness is rooted in lust. Because he says, with their mouth they show much love, but their heart go after their covetousness. See, a lot of brothers and sisters lust after very many things, and now they set an idol up in their heart. And this does not allow them to incline their heart unto Hamashiach, because Hamashiach was not covetous. He did not desire numerous things. When he had an opportunity to get the riches from Hashatan, when he was tempted in that aspect, he turned them down. The hallmark of a son of Alahym, because sons of Alahym are not covetous. Psalms 119 verse 37. Turn away my eyes from beholding vanity. Quicken thou me in thy way. Establish thy word unto thy servant who is devoted to thy fear. Turn away my reproach, which I fear, for thy judgments are good. For behold, I have longed for thy precepts. Quicken me in thy righteousness. You know, in another place in this very same song, it says thy word is quicken me. But see, the reason why we chose that one is it says to quicken me in thy righteousness. Romans chapter 10, verse 1. Quicken me in thy righteousness is what his man is asking. What is Yahuwah's righteousness? You know, it tells you that in Psalm 23 that you'd have a king and he would call Yah our righteousness. And the knowledge of my righteous servant shall justify many. And Abraham believed Yahuwah and it was counted to him for righteousness. So you want to be made alive by faith. See, Hamashiach was quickened alive by faith. This is what made him a quickening Ruach, because it was faith is what saved him, because he knew he would not suffer his Kadesh one to see corruption. His flesh rested in hope. And see, the Ruach HaKodesh, he that believe on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. This Yahushua spake of the Ruach HaKodesh, that those that believe on him should receive. For the Ruach HaKodesh had not yet been given, because Yahushua had not yet been esteemed. So in order for Yahushua to be the quickening Ruach, he had to believe. Therefore the Father rose him from the dead, because he believed. That is what made him a son of Alahym again, being born from a virgin again. And we will look and see how he was born of a virgin, which takes us back to that bundle of life that we read in 1 Samuel chapter 25 on Shabbat, or that small stone, or that tomb, or that grave. Romans 10:1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Alahym for Yasharal is that they might be saved. For they being, I bear them record that they have a zeal of Alahym, but not according to knowledge. The knowledge of my righteous servant will justify many. It's a lot of brothers have a jealousy for Yahuwah Alahym, but not according to the knowledge of Hamashiach. That man say, quicken me according to thy statutes. Guide me according, incline my heart to your testimonies. He said, incline your heart to your son, that he may be in me and I in him, that I might bring forth much fruit. Because without him, you can do nothing. For they being ignorant of Alahym's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Alahym, which is what the psalmist was writing, that he wanted to be quickened by. For Mashiach is the end of the Torah, or the purpose of the law, for righteousness to everyone that believes. So in order to be made alive, you got to believe. So those dead men that rose with his dead body, which we know is the Matthew 27:53, those men that got up with him, it's because they believed. Hebrews 11:1. Before we swing to John chapter 18 and verse 1. It is 8:37. Hebrews, Abarim 11:1. And it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. That's all we was coming to. You think the men didn't obtain a good report if they got up with this dead man's body? Say that dead man shall live with my dead body. Well, how are these men dead and how is his body dead? Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. It's another aspect of sitting back to understand how you can become a son of Alahym. You have to die. He told you, except it die, it abide alone. If it die, they said, except if it fall on the ground, it abide alone. But if it die, it bring forth much fruit. So when we look at these dead men being alive with his dead body, we're looking at men who have died to sin. They have mortified their members. They have died to the world. They've died to the flesh. After that, Galatians 5:22. Colossians 3:5. Mortify therefore your members which are upon the erat. Die. Kill it. Fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil conspicuance, covetousness, which is idolatry, for which things sake the wrath of Alahym come on the children of disobedience. So the children of disobedience are those who have not died. Because in order for you to die, you don't understand something. These men died to be born again because they were born by the Ruach to literally become the sons of the living Alahym. See, the Ruach is not in everybody. There is a Ruach in everybody, but the Ruach HaKodesh is not in everybody. Because everybody is not a son of the living Alahym. I remember telling my homegirl this back in 2012? Because she was like, the Spirit's in everybody. It is, but it's not. His breath of life is in everyone. Everyone is a living soul, but everyone has not been quickened by the Ruach. Everyone has not been made alive by the Ruach, and that is the difference. Are you a living soul, or have you been quickened by the Ruach? Because if you're a living soul, you've been made a corruptible seed. But if you have been quickened by the Ruach, then you are incorruptible seed, and you are a son of Alahym. So remember now, what made Yahushua and Adam sons of Alahym is they were made of incorruptible seed. just fashioned in corruptible vessels. See, if the Ruach HaKodesh is in you, then you follow the framework of Adam and Yahushua, because you are incorruptible seed in a corruptible vessel. Until you put on your new vessel, that esteemed body, and be made like Yahushua's esteemed body. Your tabernacle, which come down from Shamahim, which you should groan earnestly with to be clothed by. See, a lot of y'all don't groan earnest. No beverage. No beverage. No, hey. You're a boy. You're a boy. Say, as a man, a young man, a short, tubby man. You seem to be upset by that. I'm sorry. So, he just threw me my whole thing off. What I just mentioned. Galatians 5:22. Listen what it says. I'm sorry, 5:24. And they that are Mashiachs have crucified the flesh with the infections and lusts. If we live in the Ruach, let us also walk in the Ruach. Let us not be desirous of worthless esteem, provoking one another, envying one another. That's the one big thing mess our people up. We envy each other. We desirous of worthless esteem. We provoke each other. We try each other. I don't know. Why would you provoke someone? Yahuwah don't provoke you. So if you say you of Yahuwah, why would you provoke your brother? Why would you provoke your sister? Why would you provoke your mother? Why would you provoke your children? All that does is cause these people to become bitter and want to execute wrath against you. That's not the way of Yahuwah. Doesn't make sense. And he says if you belong to Mashiach, that you would have crucified or you would have died to your flesh. You would have died to that, which will allow you to become an incorruptible seed wrapped in a corruptible vessel until the time of regeneration or the time of reformation. Let's look at the next thing. Luke chapter 24, John chapter 18, verse 1. Praise Yah for the word. Ain't nothing like it. Some may believe it, some may not. Yahuwah be praised and esteemed by Hashem Yahushua either way. John chapter 18, verse 1. And when Yahushua had spoken these words, he went forth with the disciples over the brook of Cedron, where was a garden, into which he entered and his disciples. And Yehuda also, which betrayed him, knew the place, for Yahushua oft times resorted thither with his disciples. He wanted to slide over here to a garden. Well, let's see something about that garden. Let's see what John chapter 19, what was in this garden. John chapter 19, verse 38. And it's something that Yahushua like to hang out in this garden. He like to chill there. It's a certain place he like to go hang out with. And he like to take his disciples there. Ain't that son? Hold on one second, y'all. He like to slide over there, man, and hang out, right over there by this brook. Hold on, y'all. Somebody calling me. It's Dap. What's going on, brother Dap? I got you there. So, let me see something with this Cedron. Shalom, what's going on, brother?
Okay.
It means turbid. Turbid. Little trouble. What does that mean? 1938.
I got my son on the phone, he in the word.
For sure. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man?
Doing all right? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Man, good to hear you. All right, man. Good to hear you, brother. Appreciate you.
All right.
We in John chapter 19, verse 38. And after this, Joseph of Arimathea, being a disciple of Yahushua, but secretly for the fear of the Yahudim, besought Pilate that he might take away the body of Yahushua. And Pilate gave him leave. And he came therefore and took the body of Yahushua. And there came also Nicodemus, which at the first time came to Yahushua by night, and brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes and 100-pound weight, about 100-pound weight, not 100-pound weight. Then took they the body of Yahushua and wound it in linen clothes with the spices, as the manner of the Yahudim is to bury. Now in the place where he was crucified, there was a garden. And in the garden was a new sepulchre wherein was never man yet laid. There laid they Yahushua, therefore, because of the Yahudim preparation day, for the sepulchre was not at hand. So we see there's soil that has never been touched. There's an Adamah that nobody's ever touched, right? In a garden, like Adam. So now we see the process of Yahushua becoming the son of Alahym again. This time, guess what? Having no father or mother. Because Adam had no earthly father nor earthly mother. See, Hamashiach, as he came, as he become the son of Adam, he had no earthly father, but he had an earthly mother. But resurrected from the dead, he had no earthly mother, and he had no earthly father. But we see that the earth would be his mother, just like with Adam. Adamah. Wow. How they miss that? Let's look at Romans chapter 8, verse 10. Make it verse 1. I'm just going to read 1 through 3 and then drop to 10. There is now therefore no condemnation to them which are in Yahushua HaMashiach, who walk not after the Ruach, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Ruach. For the law of the Ruach of life and Yahushua HaMashiach have made me free from the Torah of sin and death. For what the Torah could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, Alahym sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh. See, this is what Adam didn't have. That's why Hamashiach had to come do it. Now I'm going to show y'all how we got to be born of a virgin, Yahuwah will, on Shabbat. I'm not going to jam that in tonight. I ain't going to do that. I'll save that part. We'll just deal with both of them becoming the sons of Alahym. Verse 10. And if Mashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Ruach is life. Matter of fact, make it verse 9. Make it verse 8. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Alahym. But they that are not in, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the Ruach, if so be that the Ruach of Alahym dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the Ruach of Mashiach, he is none of his. So if you don't have the Ruach of Mashiach, you are not considered a son of Alahym. This is also showing the premise of what we've been talking about. An incorruptible seed dwelling in a corruptible vessel. So that you could be in this corruptible vessel and be a son of Alahym. Adam is your similitude and framework of this pattern. And if Mashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Ruach is life because of righteousness. If the Ruach, if the word is in you, then you've died to sin. And now you live in the faith of Alahym. The just shall live by their faith. That's what the book says. Since a lot of people, they're not just because they don't live by faith. And if the Ruach of him that raised up Yahushua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up the Mashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his Ruach that dwell in you. See that there? See, it's the Ruach. This is how Hamashiach, so this is how believing on the Mashiach and the Ruach coming on you, this is how he's made a quickening Ruach. Faith and belief in him and the mortifying of your members. Because if you believe in him, you would die. Let's see how. Romans chapter 6, verse 1. Because when Hamashiach rose from the dead, death had no more dominion over him. Had no more dominion. So death and sin should have no more dominion over you if you walk in the Mashiach. You know, he said that, the psalmist said that in Psalms 119. Let me see what verse that is. The verse just came to my head. What it says anyway. Let me see what that said. Let me find it for y'all real fast. I can't remember where it's at. I'm getting old. I know in Psalms 119 it states about not letting have any evil thing or any sin have dominion over him. Don't let this stuff have dominion or rule over you. And if you die in Mashiach, this is what should happen. It's Romans chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that favor may abound? Alahym forbid. How shall we that are dead to